This video is for you, the owner, creator, and CEO, the head of your business, who is looking to create with more feminine energy. The channeling from the Pleiadians today is about bringing the sacred feminine into how you work in business so that you can reap the rewards that inevitably come from doing this, like more clients, income, ease, magnetism, visibility, client transformations, and just feeling more joy in your business. It's about the embodiment of this feminine energy as an expressive force rather than looking or appearing feminine on social media, for example, which, as the Pleiadians have shared with me, is an act that many are practicing, but few have the authentic embodied force behind them. In other words, the farce of the feminine is everywhere, but the purity of who she is a rare energy in the world right now. In this video, the Pleiadians explain first what the feminine energy is, then they go on to share a simple 4-step process of how you can experientially feel and work with this feminine energy so that how and what you create, and therefore what others experience through being in contact with you, is authentically infused with this feminine energy. First of all, what is divine feminine energy? Feminine energy is the original creative source point, which is feminine, but is also masculine too. It's everything that is all at once spinning, turning, existing, and experiencing itself. Feminine energy is also the dual split of this source point into the feminine and masculine forces of reality. In this video, we're going to be exploring the feminine arm of the original source point split before its manifestation into further subdivision splits like soft, hard, warm, cool, light, dark, etc. The feminine is best described as pure chaos energy. She has an order in her fabric, but no order in her state of being. This is a nuance that's important to understand. To illustrate, you could dance wildly, flinging your arms around everywhere and be chaotic, but the level of order present in your fabric to allow you to dance chaotically is absurdly precise. Your heartbeat, your liver functions, digestion, bowel movements, and other states of being inside of you. So your joints, for example, are so ordered, no matter how wildly you fling your arms everywhere, wildly dancing, you can say with 100% certainty that your arm isn't going to suddenly fly off randomly from your body. Let's use another example here. Imagine you're making a banana, mango, and blueberry smoothie. You take all these fruits, you put them into a blender, and to the naked eye, the blender's movements are chaotic, but consider how much integrity on the deepest of levels is still present in this chaos. There's still structure to the cells, atoms, colors, flavors, and so on. We can trust that from the chaos will emerge a smoothie, not something random like a house. Nor do we need to worry that the chaos here will defy time-space laws and create a black hole into which the whole planet is going to collapse. In these two examples, the feminine chaos, let's say, of the blender and the wild movement of your body while dancing still abide to an inherent deep sound, logic, order, and integrity that you trust on the deepest of levels without question. The feminine is infused with the same kind of potential energy that is at capacity to be only a few manifestations in a few specific formations as we, as humans, creators, interact with her. So the feminine being is chaotic, but her fabric follows a deep kind of logic, or maybe a better way to describe this would be rhythm or intrinsic reasoning, which is hard-coded into her essence. So knowing this, let's explore the first way that you can allow more feminine energy to be a part of you as you create in your business. Well, you now know, at least on a cerebral level, that the feminine chaos has a kind of order hard-coded into her. The invitation here is to know it, to really feel it within the farthest recesses of who you are. Why is this important? Well, from this place, the chaos will start to feel safe, at least when compared to how unsafe she looks when your mind sees her, or with how she feels when you just dip your toes in a little bit with her. You trust and surrender with every part of you into her because you've experienced her directly, and that she's not this wild, terrifying, unpredictable, scarily irrational and disorienting energy, that society has trained us to believe through our over-masculinized brains. There's actually order in her chaos in a way that only makes absolute sense when you completely immerse yourself in her in every respect. So it takes a degree of bravery to do this first step, to believe this first in advance of immersing yourself in this energy. But once there, this allows you to trust and feel safe within the divine order that is the feminine. And that initially seems elusive when you first see her or tentatively interact with her energy. Step 2. So you brought forward enough trust to immerse yourself in the feminine energy. The next step is to play with this energy. If you've released control here through step 1, as in that horrible, overbearing control that you feel like you must have over as many aspects of the world as possible, and allowed immersion with the feminine energy, then the next logical thing will be, and that you want to do because it's hard-coded into your soul, is to move with the feminine and play with her energy. This looks like experimenting with a new way to launch, allowing tweaks in images, color grading, copy, creative writing, physical expression, etc. Perhaps you push the edges of your creative expression in containers. So if you typically think, I never normally hold space in this way, you instead start saying, okay, I trust the order of the feminine chaos. Let's see what emerges from experimentation here. So there's a willingness to engage playfully with creation, and this overwhelming need for absolute control over everything in business surrenders because there is a trust in the order that lies within the chaos. So step 3, you've surrendered into the chaos. You're playing with the chaos. Now it's time for step 3, willing visibility. A business that is devoid of willing visibility is not being led by the feminine. The feminine is here to be witnessed because she is one half of the wholeness that is creation. She is the half that could be best described as the stuff. The stuff of creation wants to be seen because the stuff is God seeing itself, and God seeing itself is the whole point of absolutely everything that's even here existing. So, if you aren't sensing that you want to be witnessed, then it's not possible that you're being fully in your feminine. This doesn't mean being witnessed by human eyes necessarily. That in a twisted way assumes that godlike status lies in social media as if no other kind of seeing exists, and this isn't true. You can be witnessed by the sun, the stars, the rivers, the lakes, trees, beings of all kinds. It's simply just a need to be seen by a consciousness who understands what you're trying to do. And internally, you can sense this. To experiment with this, consider the sensation of seeking witness from the four walls of a windowless, empty room, compared with being witnessed by the whole of nature in a woodland. Animals peeking at you in curiosity, insects sensing vibrational movements, the sun or the moon shining in your face, the river responding to the flow of your body. It feels different, just as it feels different to be witnessed on stage in front of people, however big the stage. So the next stage of being in your feminine is to surrender to the deepest, intrinsic, inescapable longing inside of you to be witnessed. This is what the feminine is always expanding towards. If there's a part of you that hates this idea or unwillingly gets visible to get clients, then you've missed the point. The feminine seeks witness as that's just who she is. The reward is in the witnessing itself. So, if you feel empty, scared, unfulfilled, or not paid back through being seen, then it's necessary for you to circle back to step 1 and surrender more deeply into the feminine chaos energy. Step 4. So you've trusted enough to surrender into the chaos. So you're playing with the feminine energy. You're allowing manifestations of that play to come to be witnessed. Now what? You offer channels for response. The feminine does not exist in a vacuum. She is the most relating aspect of reality that meaningfully exists for us. As she's constantly trying to make sense of her chaotic self, it's quite natural for her to facilitate warmth, connection, empathy, and togetherness because these states of being bring about understanding. This understanding allows her to seek even more order within the chaos so that she's arranging herself for fluidity, effortlessness, and sense, because there is a lot of her, and to do this brings forward more of her power to meet the masculine. So, as you're being witnessed, you are seeking roadways, bridges, and creative feedback loops of response. This manifests in business as those who are amazing at eliciting responses from people, likes, comments, hearts, etc. on social media. That superpower of garnering response from people is brought about by two means. One, she is open to response, and two, she moves people. Her expression moves energy pathways and systems in others' bodies. It shifts their emotionally stuck energies, closed or blocked pathways of expression, and unyielding states of being that refuse to move. Her witnessable acts of creation bring emotional movement and a desire in others to also be witnessed. Do you ever see someone expressing themselves, whether male or female, it doesn't matter, the feminine is in everyone, and you find it creates a deep yearning in your heart to be seen, to bring forward your medicine and who you are to the stage too? This means you're witnessing an authentic manifestation of the feminine. If you find that watching someone creates a closure in you, rather than an invitation to be witnessed to, then it's likely not authentic. The key is to notice how quickly you retract from their expression. If it's an instantaneous retraction, it's likely not authentic expression from the feminine. If your retraction is delayed, even just a moment, then there's a deeper part of you who responded to the call, but then fear and story stepped in, preventing the so-called danger of the feminine from entering the body. In time, you'll be able to be highly attuned to this, but initially, just practice with observing how quickly you close down in witnessing others' expression of the feminine. Is there a step 5? Let's reflect on these 4 steps in greater detail. So, you've trusted the chaos, you've surrendered into it absolutely, and in feeling your essence, you begin to play, create an experiment, you let go into expression, and allow it to be witnessed without any expectation. You've opened up multiple channels of response and feedback around your expression. So is there a final step? To sink even deeper into this feminine spiral of creation and expression. So you sink even deeper into the surrender and trust of the chaos. You play even deeper with your creative expression. You find bigger, broader, more relevant and expansive platforms to be witnessed on. You provoke even deeper parts of others to be moved and allow even larger, more supported and creatively held response channels. Step 5 is really step 1 again. You repeat the process, except now your nervous system has expanded to accommodate more of the feminine energy, and so you willingly and safely, from your body's perspective, let go even further. You sink deeper into the same process over and over again as you find an increasingly tighter spiral of creation, which means your expression is energetically louder as it's finding its way back to source point. From this place, you're vibrating with such a singular high-pitched frequency of source consciousness who has found her way back to herself. From this place, you cannot be missed by others who are meant to be moved by you. You activate others into this same energy and they will find themselves almost mindlessly led by an unseen force into their own feminine spiral of creation. In other words, you guide them home to who they are and where they came from through your own expression. This is the highest service to reality that you can possibly perform. And so you see that in being yourself, that is all that is ever truly needed from God, your higher self, and reality at large. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's video all around sacred feminine energy and how it impacts on your expression in business. If you enjoyed this video, I invite you to give it a like and give me a little comment below on what your biggest takeaway is. And if you feel called to more of these videos, have a little browse around my channel because I'm all about money energetics, with most of the content on this channel coming from the Pleiadians. So if that sounds like something that's really exciting for you, go ahead and hit subscribe because there will be more videos like this coming. If you feel called to go deep with this work, then I invite you to hop onto a 20-minute business ascension call with me. where we will dive into your Akashic records and source the one thing that you need to know for your next step right now to 10x your business income. We will also be calling forward any resources that will really help you with this next step. So it could be podcasts or courses or influencers or ebooks or anything that comes to mind for what will help you embody this next step as shared from your Akashic records. And then we'll do a really beautiful call-in from your guides, your spirit beings, your whole team, so they can support you with this next step. So if that sounds like fun for you, and if it could really support you, then I invite you to book in. I have limited spaces each week. The call is totally free, and it's how I sustainably serve my community. So the link is in the banner. It's also in the description below this video. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.